An anthology on the bad, the short-lived, and the forgotten shows and events in television history. You are listening to It Was a Thing on TV.
Now, Shotty LaRue from my son's favorite show on CBS, which was just picked up again, Frank's Place.
Episode 568. Submission number 2085. The Adventures of Super Pup. The Adventures of Super Pup was an unsold pilot from 1958.
And only you and I know that he's really Bart Bent.
Play the opening.
That's what I just said. I just fucking said the opening. And only you and I know that he's really Bart Bent.
Yeah, I was going to say, there is no opening that's going in there because there really isn't much of one. But I like Greg's rendition of it. Oh my gosh.
That fake-ass Topo Gigio rat person that lives inside Bart Bent's drawer. Oh, guys, you know this is going to be a good one. Oh my gosh.
Now, let's make one thing clear. We're doing this to capitalize on the James Gunn Superman movie from DC Studios, which is out right now as you're listening to it. Now, hold on a second. We're going to get Nathan Fillion with the shittiest looking bowl cut ever as Guy Gardner. I can't wait for it.
This is supposed to be the reboot of the DC movie universe. Or was that the Batman from a couple years ago? I don't know.
They haven't really confirmed if the Patterson Batman is part of this universe yet, but let's be honest, it should be. And if they did make that the official Batman of James Gunn's DC, that means Kristen Milotti would be part of it. I would take a bullet for her in the Penguin, even though she'd probably kill me.
We're not here to talk about David Cornsweet or Rachel Brosnahan or Kristen Milioti or Colin Farrell as the Penguin. We're here to talk about a dog. But not just any dog. Faster than the speediest jet, more powerful than the mightiest rocket, able to fly around the world faster than you can say Super Pup. It's Super Pup.
Let's be honest. You know why they did this? Money. DC wanted money. And also because the Superman show was effed because George Reeves was dead.
So this was their way to continue that franchise, for better or for worse. And trust me, when we go through the pilot, there is no for better. It is bad.
So how do we talk about this, guys? It's Superman, but with, I guess you could say, the prototype of furries.
Yes! Mike, would you agree that this is kind of like an early version of furries?
I'm thinking about it. I don't like that comparison to furries. I think it's some sort of like real life puppets. Well, it's not really puppets. It's people dressed as these animals. Maybe it's not furries. Maybe it's more like, how do I phrase this? Like more defined than a furry. A furry is just like a cartoonish sort of like head and outfit. The headgear that these people wore looked very much like the animals that they portrayed. Not in that sort of exaggerated furry way, if you understand what I'm getting at.
Cal Howard and Whitney Ellsworth, looking to capitalize off of the adventures of Superman, which couldn't continue in light of George Reeves' death, had an idea to continue to make money off of the Superman franchise. Basically, give everybody a puppet head and turn it into what I can only assume is a live-action cartoon, a la Sid and Marty Krofft.
That's a good way of describing it.
We cast a whole lot of extras Some average height, others short, and others little people. I know one notable little person in this cast playing the role of Terry Bite, who is the editor of the Daily Bugle. They totally didn't steal that from Spider-Man, by the way.
Dude, this is 1958. Spider-Man doesn't premiere in the comics for another 4 years.
And then we have Bark Bent, who is an ace reporter alongside his partner Pamela Poodle, who answer to Terry Bite. And much like Lois Lane doesn't really know what goes on in Clark Kent's life that he has to disappear so much, Pamela Poodle doesn't really know what's going on in Bark Bent's life that he has to disappear so much. In fact, the only person who knows of Bark Bent's double life is Montgomery Mouse, who lives inside of a drawer in Bark Bent's desk.
And comes off very much like Topo Gigio, just more annoying.
And together they have to fight the forces of evil in the form of Professor Sheepdip. Mike is laughing, and I think I know why.
It was at this point when I saw the pilot where I'm like, I cannot take this seriously. Professor Sheepdip. And it should be noted that Professor Sheepdip is a sheepdog. Professor Sheepdip. I got your Sheepdip right here.
Sheepdip escapes from prison having been captured by Sergeant Beagle. Sergeant Beagle just while it away, cutting out paper dolls, when he notices that Sheepdip has escaped with the help of his partner, Wolfingham, a wolf. The two of them drive back to their hideout in what has to be the most annoying use of a stock footage clip of a car driving in the desert over and over again. They go to their hideout where they make an explosive solution, which they try to use on the Daily Bugle building, but is thwarted by Super Pup. No thanks to Terry Bite, who has a light for Wolfingham's bottle rocket. Speaking of bottle rockets, we also have a bottle rocket situation where Pamela Poodle is tricked into going to Sheepdip's hideout and is attached to a bottle rocket only to be saved by Superman. Sorry, only to be saved by Super Pup as the bottle rocket now hones into, and I will not get this for as long as I live, another car featuring Sheepdip and Wolfingham. Super Pup in this unsold pilot is portrayed by Billy Curtis, who had roles in Star Trek, Planet of the Apes, Buck Rogers, and also Superman and the Mole Men, where he was one of the Mole Men. Pamela Poodle is portrayed by Ruth Delfino, who was only elsewhere seen in a This Is Your Life episode about Billy Barty.
Must have been a short episode.
Ah! Oh!
Angelo Rosito, who was Terry Bite, played Angelino in the Todd Browning cult classic Freaks. Sergeant Beagle was played by Frank Delfino, who was an auctioneer in 1971's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Your Majesty.
45,000 pounds, 5,000 pounds. Your Majesty.
Now, we said it right, Mike. We did not say the other movie.
I realize that.
Now, I got a question. I think I've said this on the podcast before, but why is it that this story about Willy Wonka giving the golden tickets is like the only thing anybody cares about on the planet?
Yeah, who cares about the Vietnam War and landing on the moon and all that?
Yeah, Willy Wonka's going to give away tickets to his goddamn factory. He's going to give away a lifetime supply of chocolate. That's bigger news.
Just don't tell the people who get the tickets what's going to happen to them.
Frank Delfino was also heard alongside Harry Monty, who played Professor Sheepdip, in Ralph Bakshi's animated adaptation of J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings from the late 1970s.
Additionally, Frank Delfino played the Hamburglar in probably your childhood, 1975 to 1990. Bravo, bravo. He's no Grimace, though. Greg, that's what the Mets need right now. They need more Grimace action.
Well, they just won their second straight against the Brewers at the time we're recording this. So, to quote Lou Brown in Major League Two, we win two in a row. That's called a winning streak. It has happened before.
What's winning like, Uncle Greg? My team has sucked. They've lost 6 in a row, and, well, they're tied 0-0 at the bottom of the 8th. But they're going for 7 in a row tonight.
Now, hold on a second, Mike. Ken appeared at the Cubs Guardians game at Wrigley Field to sing the 7th inning stretch.
Didn't help the Guardians one bit.
Well, at least he didn't get kicked out after immediately doing the 7th inning stretch, like what Angel Hernandez did to Steve Mongo McMichael. R.I.P. Mongo.
I'm glad he didn't ask that audience at Wrigley Field, what's a hoe? Since we had the new version of What's a Hoe last week, as of the time we're recording. A contestant actually answered What's a Hoe and was wrong.
And last in the cast, playing both Wolfingham and Montgomery Mouse, Sadie Delfino, who was a party hostess in 1975's White House Madness.
And actually, it should be noted that Sadie Delfino and Frank Delfino were married. And I wonder how Ruth Delfino plays into all this. Could she have been like the daughter? I see nothing saying that she is, but at the same time, I don't see anything saying she isn't.
And for no other reason than he could, we have Mr. and Mrs. Met playing Narco on the trumpets.
Do you see what I did, Mike?
Now, wait, did you ever ask Kyle Hershon about his experience with Mrs. Met?
No, I haven't. You think I'm going to ask him, well, what was it like to see Mrs. Met's caboose up close? Like, I'm not going to, like, we all know she has a big dumper, okay? We don't want to, look, Mr. Met is proud that his wife has a big caboose, okay? Her butt is, like, huge. We should all be proud of Mr. Met. He married a wonderful woman.
Boy, I was going to edit that part out of the show, but now I think I got to keep it in. Plus, also, I'm glad you mentioned the big dumper, because this brings me to Cal Raleigh, the real big dumper. That's his nickname, Big Dumper.
It is.
He only has like 33 homers this year. He is absolutely beasting, and I'm loving every minute of watching his signed cards and rookie cards just hop up in value, since I've got a couple autographed rookie cards in my collection of his.
I think this is going to be like a fun home run chase between him and Judge this season.
And Ohtani, because Ohtani hit number 30 last night as of the time we're recording this. So you have Judge at, I think, 31, and then Cal Raleigh's at 33, and Shohei is at 30.
Yeah, but I was more referring to Judge and Raleigh because the American League record is held by Judge at 62.
Right.
Obviously, no one's going to get close to 73 anytime soon.
Not without injections, just saying. And actually, it's projected that Cal Raleigh is going to get to 62 homers. So that will be very fun to watch as we go through the next 3 months of baseball season.
The episode itself was written by Cal Howard and Whitney Ellsworth. Cal Howard, veteran writer for the Looney Tunes and Woody Woodpecker, while Whitney Ellsworth wrote 104 episodes of The Adventures of Superman. So the authenticity of Superman is there, plus it reads like a live-action cartoon because you had a cartoon writer writing it. They used some of the existing sets of The Adventures of Superman. The Daily Bugle definitely looked like the Daily Planet. We had the storeroom where Clark Kent would jump out the window. They did release this as part of the Superman Ultimate Collection DVD. You can watch it for yourself, or if you can't be bothered with physical media, you can watch it online if you know where you can find an organization that features a whole lot of archives.
The web version. Now, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't actually get into why this is so bad. Yes, we went through the plot, we went through the actors, but we are doing a grave injustice if we don't talk about why this is so bad. There's a reason why it has a 3.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb. Where could we start? Now, first off, as I mentioned earlier, I was dead after hearing the name Professor Sheepdip, and that was about 3-4 minutes into this pilot. But beyond that, oh my gosh, where can we start? First off, just the overall production quality of this is bad. It does not look like it had the same standards that Superman may have had back in the day. Did they just get kind of lazy with George Reeves' passing? Did they sort of get lackadaisical because who would actually take a spin-off about Super Pup seriously? It's kind of difficult to take this seriously because the characters themselves, they don't look like furries. They look more like anthropomorphized dogs. They're standing on two legs. They're going about life like they're human beings. Just they're in a dog world, kind of, sort of. Kind of difficult to take that seriously. But also, and I mentioned this to Greg and Chico leading up to this episode, I really do not believe that actors could see out of their costumes. If you go back when, I forget who it was, if it was the wolf, or I think it was the wolf, not the Professor Sheepdog, but when he got that sort of like Molotov cocktail and went into the clock, you could actually see that the person in the clock had great difficulty getting through the doorway. That's why I think they couldn't see out of their costumes. And I wouldn't be surprised about that. It wasn't like other costumes from other TV shows where you can kind of clearly see there's space for eyeballs that are cut out and you can see blinking and all that. No, there was not this with these dog masks or dog heads. And also, it wasn't like, let's say, mascots for sporting events where they sort of have that mesh over the eyes where, yeah, it looks like they can't see through it, but since it's mesh, they can see exactly what's going on. I sincerely think that the actors could not see out of their costumes. But also, and Chico didn't mention this, and I don't know if this was a result of being too expensive or if this was meant to happen. And I think maybe meant to happen could be a realistic explanation. The video, maybe about halfway through the pilot, goes from color to black and white. So you're watching color for the first 10 minutes or so, and then boom, goes to black and white, no explanation given. And the only explanation I can come up with the transition from color to black and white for the remainder of the pilot is Terry Bite, right after it goes from color to black and white, he has this sort of eyes bugging out scene. I wonder if it's tied to that somehow. Kind of weird to say, but just the timing is weird. You have this normal pilot, and then right when it transitions from color to black and white, you have this scene where his eyes bug out, maybe in some sort of animated form. I don't know specifically how they got that done, but I wonder if that's more than just coincidental timing.
I think it also could be maybe the first reel was only in color and the second reel was only in black and white.
Do you mean like the first take and second take?
No, I mean like in reels of film, because you know how there's like one reel of film for like every 10 minutes.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I thought you were talking about the first take and then the black and white was the second take, but that's another valid explanation. Also, again, maybe related to cost cutting. Maybe they thought they could do color, and after 10 minutes or 11 or 12 minutes, they said, nope, we can't do color. It's too expensive. Let's go to black and white.
Or it could be a case where they couldn't find the second reel of color film and they only had black and white print.
True. And actually, at this point, talking about the end of the George Reeves Superman run, it was definitely in color. It wasn't black and white in 57 or 58 or 56, maybe 56, but I've seen episodes of The Adventures of Superman on H&I, and also I think they just started showing it on MeTV on Saturday nights. Maybe they're not showing the color episodes, but I've definitely seen color episodes on H&I. So who knows? But also another thing that I just can't get over. Bark Bent. Really? You couldn't think of any other names. Let's just take Clark Kent and put a B in each of their beginnings. Bark Bent. This is just pitifully bad. I'm actually curious to see what people say on IMDb about this. Why did they rate it 1 star besides it's crap? 2 stars out of 10. This pilot was rightly put to sleep. This travesty has only come into the public arena because of its release as part of the Ultimate Superman collection. After watching it, it comes as no surprise as to why it has been hidden away for so long. 1 star out of 10. Mind-bogglingly bad, and you wonder who thought this was a good idea. 1 out of 10. Worst pilot generates plenty of laughs. I don't know about you guys. I wasn't laughing. This is just plain old bad. And then there's a couple of people who actually gave it 5 out of 10 stars for some reason. It's not Superman, and it's not even sort of like Superman adjacent. It's like the canine version of Superman, and it's really freaking creepy. This is one you definitely want to look for on some sort of web archive. It's an organization. Go look for it. And just search Super Pup, and I believe you'll get 2 results. Click on the first one, and don't blame us. This is really bad. But hey, after you see this, you go to the movie theater, you go see the James Gunn version, and you'll get to see the Metropolis Meteors play baseball in Progressive Field, because that's where those scenes were done. They're done in Progressive Field.
And you'll also get to see Anthony Kerrigan as a superhero.
And you'll get to see not Super Pup, but you'll get to see that dog who, from what I can tell, like steals a lot of scenes.
Oh, Crypto the Superdog.
From what I've seen in the previews, with all due respect to the human actors, he may be the star of the movie.
You know, last year it was that dog that stole Deadpool and Wolverine. This year it's Crypto the Superdog. 15 out of 10. Shout out to We Rate Dogs.
We Rate Dogs?
There's a site on Threads and Blue Sky. There's a social media account called We Rate Dogs. And all the dogs are like way over. You know how it's like 8 out of 10. All the dogs are rated over like 10. So it's like 15 out of 10 or 14 out of 10.
Well, yeah, I'm at WeRateDogs.com, and I see that. Well, this looks more like a shop of some sort. But also, unless you've got like a Rottweiler or a really angry dog, how do you not rate dogs 15 out of 10? Seriously. The Husky I had as a teenager, 15 out of 10. The Cocker Spaniel, which came along about 5-6 years later, that dog was a bitch, but it was an adorable bitch. I'd give it like 9 out of 10. And then the Westie my sister had, 15 out of 10. Westies are just absolutely beautiful dogs. And then the Clumber Spaniel, sort of like a Cocker Spaniel, that my family got in 2006 as a rescue. Beautiful dog, 15 out of 10. Maybe take a few points off because that dog's bladder was horrible, pissed all over the place. But then the chocolate lab that my dad and my mom had up until 2018, beautiful dog, 15 out of 10. So again, how could you not give a beautiful dog 15 out of 10?
My brother's Pomeranian Cinnamon, who we lost last year, definitely 15 out of 10.
Pomeranians are so beautiful, even though they're basically just big balls of fur. My cousin's girlfriend has one. She brings this dog to every family event. It's a beautiful dog, but it is the yippiest little bastard. Just want to drop kick it across the room. But again, beautiful dog, 15 out of 10 for sure. And hey, we could rate cats too. Banoodles, 15 out of 10. But I think we've done enough rating of dogs and cats.
The Adventures of Super Pup. They want to continue to milk that Superman money. But it just became an unsold thing on TV.
And an atrocious one too. You can find us at our website, itwasathingontv.com, on Facebook at It Was a Thing on TV podcast, and elsewhere at It Was a Thing on TV. You can find us on any podcast player, and we're also on YouTube, where you can subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our releases, including what's coming up next time. We're going to celebrate the 50th anniversary of a game show. In theory, this sounds like a fun game, but in actuality, oh boy, there was so much wrong with this show. Specifically, the setup of the main attraction for the show, the lack of realistic physics of said attraction. It may have been a pinball machine bigger than life, but hardly was it magnificent. But you'll hear more about that on Saturday, right here at It Was a Thing on TV. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you to Greg. Thank you to Chico. We will catch you on Saturday with that new episode. Greg, roar us out of here.
Wow!
Well, there goes Superman.
Yeah, you know what that means. Here we go again. And 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Clark.
Gosh, I'm sorry I had to step out so suddenly. I just had to, This is gonna be good. I just had to go down to the, mail place and, mail some of my mail.
Oh, of course you did.
Say, I didn't happen to miss Superman again, did I?
Yeah, you sure missed him. Imagine that.
Boy, it's a shame you keep missing Superman, Clark. You know, maybe you'd get a chance to meet him if we could only figure out his secret identity.
Oh, good luck on that one, Lois. You know, whoever Superman is, one thing's for sure. The guy is undoubtedly a master of disguise. That's right, yes. I think you're right. We'll probably never know who Superman is. Now, if you'll excuse me, everyone, I, Clark Kent, have to get back to work. You do that. Okay.
Do that. Okie dokie. What a bonehead!
You said it. This guy is really not pulling off this whole Clark Kent routine.
Well, at least he is calling himself Clark Kent now. I mean, remember when he first got here, he was calling himself Superman?
And he had all his paychecks sent to the Fortress of Solitude.
Hey, you want to see something funny? Watch this. Hey, Clark, how's that story coming over there? Oh, it's coming along fine, Mr. White. Oh, and how long do you think it's going to be, Superman? Well, after I make a few cuts, that is Superman here? Because I'm not super... Yeesh. Oh, did I say Superman? My bad. I meant Clark, of course. Carry on, Clark.
That was weak, man. Maybe he's serious with this thing, you know?
See, that's what I'm saying. Look at this column that he wrote. Okay. In South Metropolis yesterday, an unidentified man was shot 7 times. Sources at the scene say the bullets did not bounce off his chest. Not that they should on ordinary humans like us. Couldn't he have just edited that out?
Let me see that. The victim could have avoided being shot if only he were faster than a speeding bullet like me. ... Oh, man, you're doing it again. Play it cool, Superman. Play it cool. Well, that's just plain lazy.
Yeah, and it's terrible reporting. I mean, how have we not fired him yet?
Oh, give him a break. He saved the entire city hundreds of times.
Doesn't mean he's a joy to have around the office. I mean, the guy's really a slob.
Yep, apparently fighting for truth, justice, in the American way doesn't include flushing when you're done in the can.
Amen. I swear, if I gotta go in there one more time and see one of his brown kryptonite chunks floating around, not cool. Not cool.
Hey, let's go screw with him.
Right on.
Say there, Clark. That was pretty amazing how Superman destroyed that meteor today, huh?
Well, I wouldn't know, Lois. I was nowhere nearby.
Hey, yeah, and it's also weird that guy, Superman, is a full-on, out-of-the-closet homosexual.
Well, that's what they say. Oh, what? What? Huh? Well, wait a minute. Superman isn't gay.
Oh, sure he is.
Real gay.
Yeah.
No, now wait. I always heard he was pretty manly. Oh, no way. You get Superman in a truck stop men's room, you won't need kryptonite to bring him to his knees. Hey, come on, really. Superman isn't gay. Sure, he experimented a little back in Smallville.
This is making that up,
Shut up! Shut up!
But that doesn't make him gay. Hey, everybody, I just heard over the police scanner a tobacco store downtown has Prince Albert in a can. Someone's kidnapped the prince? Boy, I'm tired. I think that I will go to bed now.
Okay, then, Clark. Well, we'll tell you what happened to the prince.
Oh, I think you'll be just fine, Lois. Just fine.
Superman murders innocent tobacconist.
I bet the tobacconist ended in the can.
Now, hold on a second, Mike. Now, Rewind TV is airing the Murphy Brown thing where she finds out she's pregnant. Do you know what the episode title of it was? You'll never believe what it was.
Was it something to piss off Dan Quayle?
No. The episode title was, and I kid you not, Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
But there's uh-oh port 1, there's uh-oh port 2, and there's uh-oh port 3.
I sincerely thought it'd be something to piss off Dan Quayle. Well, he got pissed off because of this, so you can't really name it after pissing off Dan Quayle.
No. Oh, wait, Mike, you got the Bay Ford autograph. I need to update everybody.
Oh, yes! Well, I posted it on Instagram on Saturday, but yes, the Faith Ford autograph did come in Saturday afternoon. Saturday, whatever it was, the 27th, 28th. And it looks beautiful.
Looks nice. It looks sexy.
Well, for a cartoon, a 23-year-old cartoon, sure. But as I said during that episode, her character name on the back is Quirky. Not Corky Sherwood, Quirky. No last name given.
It's fantastic. All right, let's end this.